Hello, I'm Spiff, and this is a review of the battle-damaged Herrerasaurus by Mattel. So as we see, this is the Herrerasaurus from the battle-damaged line. The non-battle-damaged one will come out later this summer, but at the moment, this is the only Herrerasaurus that's out. And as you can see, there's not too much to show off on the front here, other than it's, of course, battle damage. The way this works is if you flick it hard enough or push down on it, you should get it. It should show the battle damage. And then you can just bring it back up and it'll put it back to how it was. I'll discuss what I think about the battle damage later on in this video. So as we see here on the back of the box, it showcases its battle damage and its name in multiple different languages, as well as the different dinos from the battle damage line. As you see, we have Blue, Stygimoloch, Triceratops, and Pachycephalosaurus. And those are all out right now. If I'm correct, more battle damaged dinosaurs are coming out later this year, though. As we see at the top, you can scan the code on the bottom of the foot into the Jurassic Facts app, which I will be doing later on in this video. Alright, let's get it open. And here we have Herrerasaurus. As you can see, it stands very well, and it looks pretty good. You can stand this in a variety of poses thanks to how Mattel has made these. You can have it in its current standing pose, in a somewhat stalking pose, as well as the pose they had in the box, where it almost looks like it's maybe sniffing the air. As you can see, unlike Hasbro's, it looks great from both sides because this one doesn't have bullet holes everywhere, which is a definite up. As you can see, just like all the other dinosaurs from Mattel's line, the legs can go in and out, and the legs can't go too far. You can't really do 360 with them, which, I mean, that's fine, because you really don't need to with legs. The arms, on the other hand, you can actually bring them around 360, both backwards and forwards. And as well, they do this in and out motion, and that is in any direction you have them in, which is pretty great. One thing I will complain about is the battle damage here can be a bit too fidgety while you're posing the dinosaur here. Because while you're posing it around, you can accidentally press on it and it'll open, and it can be a pain in the butt sometimes to close back up. Other than that, I don't really have many other problems with it. Here let's see the face and that eye. Let me see if I can get it to focus. It doesn't want to focus that well, but seeing it looks a bit better in person. But if you can see, that eye looks incredibly well done. I'd like to give a round of applause to whoever did the eye for this dinosaur, because it looks incredible. In terms of head articulation, you can move the head up and down. At least it seems like it probably just needs to be, the plastic might be broken into bit. This happens with some toys where it doesn't, or sometimes, one thing I will say is with some toys, some of the joints can be a bit stuck in the beginning because of the fact that they've just been sitting in one place for so long. So because of that, it can end up like that. Later on, I'll see if I can get it to work so I can show off the head articulation. But here we see its jaw opens it pretty wide, but if you open it a bit too wide, it kind of ruins the look. But here we see it's a pretty big bite. The tongue is very well done, as well as everything else. The teeth are very well painted, not very much overlapping at all. The jaw at the top has gotten a bit of detail. And here, of course, is the tongue on the bottom. That's all really good. As you can see as well, they have these spikes going along the back of the spine, and not much else. Here is, of course, the logo for Mattel's Jurassic Park, Jurassic World lines. Sadly, they didn't keep the JP or JW logo on the side of the dinosaurs. It's a bit sad, but I could understand why they didn't want to. Possibly Hasbro might not have let them. Who knows? So, let me show you this code in case some of you can't afford Herrerasaurus and still want to scan them in. I hope that works and it's not too blurry. I'm trying to get it to focus as well as I can. But, alright. Okay, what to say about this? It looks really well. Mattel have definitely shown why they deserve this line and have one-upped Hasbro in almost every way. And speaking of other Jurassic Park toys, well, first thing we're going to do is we were going to measure this for those of you who want to know how big it is. So, as you can see here, it from tip of the tail to the tip of its head, it's about 8 inches, which is about almost 20 centimeters, almost 19.5 centimeters. So it's pretty big, as well as from bottom of foot to right here, we can see it is almost 3 inches. A little more than 3 inches, I should say, and about 8 centimeters. So it's a pretty, it's pretty nice size. And at $10, it's definitely affordable for whoever can't afford something like this super colossal T-Rex. And as you remember, Mattel was going to do their line they were going to put it in scale of, I think it was 3 3/4 inch figures. While I don't actually have any 3 3/4 inch figures, the closest thing I have is General Grievous from one of the old Star Wars lines. He, sadly, doesn't stand good, so I'm going to have to hold him. But he's a bit bigger than 3 3/4 inches. As you can see, he is almost, like, a little over 4 inches, or actually just about 4 inches. So, most of the toys are going to be up here. So, Herrerasaurus is actually pretty well in scale to the Jurassic Park continuity. Because if you remember, it has actually been in the Jurassic Park franchise before, and he was in the Jurassic Park the game. So, speaking of Jurassic Park, people have people think this toy is good, some people think this toy is bad. But one thing we are going to do today is we are going to compare it to a toy that was made by Kenner that is about the same size, and that is their Baryonyx. As you can see here, this is about the same size, really. Not really in scale for Baryonyx. The new one by Mattel is a bit more in scale. As you can see, it has the Jurassic Park logo on it, and a very good paint job. The jaw there is no button to open the jaw. You have to manually open and close it, but it also has a spring mechanism to bring it back to close. And a little action feature on this guy is if you move the leg back and forth, he shakes his head around. And of course, like a lot of the other guys at that time, he came with capture gear. I have all the capture gear and everything, but I'm not going to bring it out right now as this video is getting long enough. But this guy is pretty well posable, and sadly he can't stand in all positions as you see here because of the action feature of the leg. And the detail on this is incredible. All the claws are painted. It has its signature big claw, and the mouth is very well done. And then, as you can see, they included all the little bony plates on him. So, let me give a little size comparison of the two. Herrerasaurus is a bit bigger if you stand them. Herrerasaurus is a bit smaller if you stand them in a similar position. The tail is a bit smaller as well. So, what do I think is the better toy? In my opinion, I think at the moment now, Herrerasaurus is the better toy, as getting this guy can be fairly expensive because of the fact it's an old toy and people sell it online for ridiculous prices to try and get your money. So if you want one that you just like to play around with and stuff, Herrerasaurus is definitely the better choice. Baryonyx has been a bit better painted, but Kenner was known for doing that. And it was probably a bit less expensive than it is now. So, but yeah, this is my little review of the physical figure. Now, I will very quickly go scan this into the Jurassic Facts app. I'll see you in a few seconds. So sadly, I couldn't exactly get this to record properly by going through it and everything, so I'm decided to show you screenshots. As you saw, there was the regular looking Herrerasaurus. This is the angry looking one. So, alright, we should have a first fact coming up. Alright, the Herrerasaurus is 15 feet long and 3.6 feet high. Pretty basic. Alright, next one is, she is thought to communicate by making trilling sounds. That's a pretty interesting little fact. The Herrerasaurus lived during the Triassic 220 million years ago, meaning it was actually one of the first dinosaurs to be around. She has long feet and can run fast. Bit subjective, but alright. Herrerasaurus means Herrera's lizard and comes from its discoverer's name. Pretty simple. Also, extra little fact here. Did you know that some scientists think Herrerasaurus is closer related to sauropods than some theropods? Sauropods such as Brachiosaurus. Isn't that a cool little fact? Alright, back to the vid. Alright, so as we have discussed, it's a pretty good figure for its size, and is fairly well made by Mattel. I have to give them props for this, and I'm hoping to purchase more figures from the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park line in the future, and we'll probably be reviewing them. So, yeah, if anybody wants to give me any pointers or any constructive criticism on my review, you can leave that in the comments below, as this is my first review on YouTube. And if anybody has their own opinions and thoughts on Herrerasaurus or any of the Jurassic World figures by Mattel, you can leave that in the comments as well. And, well, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. See you next time. Bye, guys. Also, really quick, because I finally got this unstuck. The head can move up and down, like this, which is actually very good and allows for a bunch of dynamic poses. So yeah, I thought I'd leave that. Hopefully you guys stayed around for the extra second just to see me show this off. So, alright, now it's a real goodbye, guys. Okay, bye.